Hi. So I've talked about this concept before, and I've heard it from Gary Vaynerchuk, but building the biggest building in town is so freaking important in our daily lives. And by that, as Gary Vaynerchuk says, you as yourself and your life is a building. You constantly put effort to get better, to win, to learn, to get some new things, and everything that matters to you, everything you care about, you work towards it, or you take care of it, or you support someone else, you're still building a building. And a lot of people like to shit on others. They like to say nasty comments, insult each other, make them feel bad, wrong, and guilty, spending a lot of time, let's say, even the whole YouTube thing. People who make contact, who talk about various concepts that might not seem like an everyday topic, that might not have enough science support and like proving all this stuff. People are so fast on calling you crazy, wrong, and like, oh, you're full of crap without even learning about anything you're talking about. They judge the book by a cover, and we get comments about who we are like and all, instead of anyone spending some time trying to know the person. 5 minutes, 1 minute is enough to get an idea and leave a nasty comment without ever considering that the person went through a whole lot of stuff. So there's tons of people who will throw stuff at your building and they'll try to tear it down while they live in a shack that they don't give a damn about. They're not taking care of their own life, their own building. They're not using it. No, they're like, yeah, this is fine. Instead, I'm going to use all my time and effort to try to destroy and tear down someone else. And it goes in so many ways. Like this concept, this metaphor that Gary Vaynerchuk shared, I see it in everyday life with people. It can go in many ways. It's like, you go to a store and you buy stuff and you leave and you look at your receipt and, oh, they added an item that I didn't get, but now I lost $5. And we can spend an entire day or a week hating a person, feeling bad, wrong, and guilty, like we've been, like, yeah, I'm a victim again. I've been targeted. And instead of looking at ways how you could get the money or that, being happy and appreciating what you have. And I know life, fucks us over in some ways. And life isn't hard for a lot of people. And we suffer, sure. But there are so many people who will look at others and try to shit on them without ever spending time on themselves. And I think it's very important to sort of be aware of our own actions. Like, yeah, I cannot control people. I cannot change them. I might influence them. That would be great. But the most important part is I can control myself. That's the only thing I'm in control of, is myself, my thoughts, what I do, my actions, my feelings, and everything else like that. And I can choose to spend my time trying to tear down someone else. Maybe someone makes a video about me, says, like, Vita's full of crap. She talked about soul traps, and that's not true because blah, 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 blah. And you might not agree with the topics I talk about, with my point of views, with what I share, and you can shit on me, and that's fine. But you're spending your precious time, your efforts into tearing down someone else's building while living in a shack. Or, you have somewhat of a building, but instead of creating something more, you keep on destroying someone else's stuff. Me, I'm no perfect. Like, yeah, I bitch out the government, but I'm trying to spend most of my time working on myself. Like, yeah, I'm not perfect. I know nothing. Everything I learn of, there's always something more. And like all of those concepts and knowing I can be wrong. And, I try not to allow myself to say anything bad about others because I know that I too am wrong. Or maybe one day my beliefs will change. Maybe one day I will learn something new. And I'm like, oh, well, that doesn't fit with what I used to believe in or what I used to preach. That's one thing, like, okay, like YouTube stuff. But in everyday life, relationships we have, people we meet in, where it is while you're driving on the road, where it is at your work, people and relationships we have. And we can choose to spend our time trying to get vengeance, trying to, destroy someone else, make them feel the pain we have felt. A lot of people are like that, like specifically in even the spiritual community where, oh, they've hurt me. and they're going to learn their lesson because I'm better and I'm going to prove it to them. And you are going to spend your time and efforts into trying to destroy someone else instead of working on yourself and getting better. So all of these ways, I know for me personally, and it is my choice. And hey, you do what you do. You choose how life works better for you. If it makes you happy tearing down someone else's or even expressing some of that hate, that is fine. If that fits you, cool. But I really like what Gary Vaynerchuk said, and it sort of stayed with me in this mindset I'm trying to apply it in my everyday life as much as possible, where, hey, focus on what's important. Is it really important to try to protect yourself against what someone else said? Is it really important to try to prove your point to someone else who's not going to believe you anyway? Is it really important to try to make others feel what you have felt, like in that pain, like, oh, they cheated on me, and like, oh, I'm gonna get them back, instead of choosing like, hey, I've been triggered, and let's look within what got triggered, and what can I do to make that stop, and what can I do to get better? Like, a lot of things happen. And so for me, like I'm not perfect, but every day I'm trying to apply this sort of mindset and choose my priorities and choose what's worth fighting for. And, is it worth to get into an argument or, like something else? Or just like, no, like, yeah, I would like to say something. I would like to get back at him, but is it worth it? Not really. I have to focus on myself. So anyway, you can look the original video, Gary Vaynerchuk, building the biggest building in town. Look it up on YouTube. He has a lot of great videos. And for me, a lot of his tips and what he says is really making my life better because of how I am able to perceive it, how I'm able to appreciate things way more than I used to be. And it makes me happier in general. So I guess that's it for today. If you have anything else to add, what's your thinking, what's your logic in life, what kind of thing changed your point of view and make everything much better? Share that, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.